Good afternoon, good evening, or good morning, everyone, everywhere, depending on where and when you are joining and watching. It is a bright, beautiful, sunshiny Memorial Day weekend outside my door. What's it looking like outside yours? Last week, we discussed female genital mutilation. Some like to use a nicer word like circumcision, but as someone pointed out last week, there is no female circumcision in the Bible, only male. So, who thought it was a good idea to continue such barbaric behaviors in the 19th, 20th, and 21st century? Well, if you thought that was something, this week we will be discussing something I have never even heard of until last week in all of my years of traveling in and out of Africa. Breast ironing. Yes, you heard me right. Breast ironing. Brothers and sisters, today that is our topic. And we have with us the lovely, informational, wonderful Dr. Martha, who will be sharing with us today. And as I said, today's topic is breast ironing. Now, if you're watching on Facebook and you want to join the conversation, come on over here to Zoom. The ID number is 514 199 854. That's 514 199 854. And now for the editorial with my co-host, Nia-san.
Greetings to everyone out there, and deeply sorry for last week. The editorial was missing, even though I posted it later on the chat room, but that is not enough. It's supposed to be live. That said, May 29, 2022 is the 149th day of the year 2022. There are thus 216 days left in 2022. Today is the 22nd Sunday of 2022. It is the 71st day of spring. Ambassador Lisa, I always tell you this, we have 23 more days before summer really gets into full gear, even though it is already 91 degrees outside my door. May 29 holidays and days worth focusing on include this Sunday of Memorial Weekend. Yes, it is the beginning of the long Memorial Weekend in these United States of America. But more importantly, today is International Day of United Nations Peacekeepers. The International Day of United Nations Peacekeepers on May 29 offers a chance to pay tribute to the uniformed and civilian personnel's invaluable contribution to the work of the United Nations and to honor more than 4,000 peacekeepers who have lost their lives serving under the UN flag since 1948. The first United Nations peacekeeping mission was established then, that is in 1948, when the Security Council authorized the deployment of a small number of United Nations military observers to the Middle East to form the United Nations Truce Supervision Organization, which monitored the armistice between Israel and its Arab neighbors. From history, and on this day in 1790, all of us, none of us was born then, we remember that Rhode Island became the last of the original 13 colonies that became the United States of America to ratify the United States Constitution. At that time, they needed 9 to ratify, then it became operational. But Rhode Island, which did not go to Philadelphia for the writing of the Declaration of Independence, they were able at least to become the last to sign. On this day in 1953, yeah, maybe somebody somewhere was born, Edmund Hillary from New Zealand and Tenzing Norgay from Nepal were the first to reach the summit of Mount Everest as part of a British expedition. If you think your summer will be too hot, why not take a trip to Mount Everest? We must also note that May 29 generally honors the goddess of democracy. And even though forms of political governance face great challenges these days, the truth remains that democracy remains the best system that guarantees freedom in all its forms. What are we about to say may not be democracy per se, but we need to say it all the same. Yes, we celebrate mothers and would-be mothers on May 8th each year. On that day, our attention focuses on those women folk who have or would look forward to holding babies in their arms, and those who hold the torch of life aloft. On Africaonline Media Corporation, we celebrate mothers and would-be mothers. We raise awareness about child brides, female genital mutilation, and breast ironing. That is why, as the month strolls out so peacefully and quietly, our attention is turned this day to that other practice visited on the girl child on the dawn of her transitioning from puberty to adolescence. We allude here to breast ironing. Breast ironing is an act considered by some parents, mothers and fathers alike, as a means of modifying a girl child's growth and development. Unfortunately, though, such modifying action neither honors or celebrates the girl child. Rather, it is just another form of abuse on that innocent human being called the girl child. Female genital mutilation and breast ironing are injurious to the victim, but parents think, and wrongly so, that female genital mutilation and breast ironing help the child's growth by preventing early sex, ensuring virginity, and guaranteeing the girl child's happiness. Far from it. Both female genital mutilation, as we pointed out last week, and breast ironing, as we will be doing today, are abuses, depriving the girl child of her natural growth and development process. But why do African mothers in particular iron their daughters' breasts? In an April 2018 article, Danielle Selby and Julie Ngale posit, quote, "For many girls around the world, the onset of puberty represents a time of uncertainty," end of quote. And they continue, quote, "Even anxiety as their lives change, as their bodies change, they are really afraid of what lies ahead." Unfortunately, the writers continue, quote, "For approximately 3.8 million girls around the world, that anxiety turns to anguish as the start of adolescence brings with it a practice called breast ironing. Call it by any name or visit it on your girl child. Breast ironing or breast flattening, they also call it, is a harmful practice. It may not leave any physical scar, but the trauma it causes lasts a lifetime. Some cultures may see breast ironing as a last resort to keeping their daughters a little longer in school, but that experience pales in the face of letting that girl child mature normally and naturally, acquiring the necessary moral upbringing that eventually insert her into the world of marriage and confident living. Breast ironing, like female genital mutilation, remains a misguided practice that may delay but not protect the grown-up female child from rape, unwanted sexual advances, and early pregnancy. Breast ironing and female genital mutilation may uphold a girl's personal and family's honor, but do not necessarily guarantee chastity and virginity at the time of marriage. Be that as it may, and as Africaonline Media Corporation does its part to raise awareness around breast ironing and female genital mutilation, it becomes of vital importance to sound the alarm bells and to collectively promote better understanding of the ill effects of these practices. We need greater community outreach. We need public workshops, and we need all hands and minds on deck to ensure that the practices are banished in these communities and localities wherein they still rear their ugly heads. Patriarchal norms, traditional values, beliefs, and attitudes upholding these ironing and female genital mutilation must be forcefully challenged and tirelessly condemned in our world of the 21st century. So at this point, over to the chair of Africaonline Media Corporation, Reverend Pam, as she welcomes us this Sunday, the last in the month of May, to the discussion. Over to you, Reverend Pam.
I mean, just hearing your voice, just after meeting you for one Sunday, it just feels like blessings from heaven. Ambassador Lisa, didn't we miss him? You know, and Dr. Martha, I'm sure you've heard that name, Asonglefac Nkemleke. Everybody who grew up in Cameroon knows that name, right?
Right. The name of a journalist when I was a girl.
See? So
you are still a girl. You are still a girl, Dr. Martha.
Everybody knows the iconic, the legendary Asonglefac Nkemleke. And I will still say this again, it's an honor for me, Nia Song, to be working with you. Growing up, I never even thought I'll ever meet you, let alone work with you. So you are awesome, you rock, you are so amazing. Such, I mean, an amazing man who respects women.
May I quickly say that you must have missed me in Boya because I was such a small man and you are such a tall woman. So I was passing under your armpit without you. Just for laughs.
Very funny. Very, very funny. You are taller than the tallest basketball player or the person that holds the Guinness Book of Records because of your character. Thank you so much, Nia Song. And I did post the editorial. I added it to the comment section of last week's broadcast. And I know where we have not talked about your book in a long time, the Africa's Brain Power. We'll talk about it later, but on behalf of Africaonline Media Corporation, I want to welcome back our sister, Dr. Tamata. She actually brought this issue, this challenge, this practice of breast ironing to our attention. I'd never heard of it. And Ambassador Lisa, I love your green hair. Just keep it. I love, green is prosperity and green stands for money. So keep that. I know you didn't do it on purpose. Probably your backdrop is reacting with your earrings or something, but we love the green hair. Sister Deborah, I love the blonde natural salt and pepper. And Ambassador Lisa's hair goes with your background perfectly. Brother Rona, thank you so much for joining us, and want to welcome all our viewers, on Facebook and those who are going to watch this show for years to come. We pray that, this message will get to those archaic people wherever they are, practicing this nonsense called breast ironing. Last Sunday, I said, how about penis ironing? All the men on the show, you could feed them, just react. Their body, Dr. Ogoji was like a no. I said, why
that's right.
to modify female organs and not men, So it is just when God created all of us, he said we were beautiful, we created us in his image, and nobody can override God, whether you iron the breast or not. That lady, that child is still gonna go into puberty. So instead of ironing that breast, put down that weapon and start educating your children.
Yes.
We do sexual education and sex education every year, and we're gonna be doing that soon this year. But I want to encourage the men. I know you may be tired of us talking about women. We are not feminists here. Yes, in May, we have Mother's Day, and in March, it was Women's Month. So we talked about our sisters, our daughters, our mothers, our wives. Coming up next month, June, we dedicate June to our men. Yes. So we are an equal opportunity blessing show. We don't discriminate. So next month, we're going to be talking about the men. We're going to dedicate the entire month to men. So I advise all your brothers, your husbands, your sons, your nephews, uncles to tune in. Last year we had Dr. Waters Fomunung, His Royal Highness. He's a king of his village. Fomunung, a globally renowned urologist, be on this show to talk about cancer.
That was powerful.
Yes, that was so awesome. We had to extend that show. So I just want to encourage the men, be part of this. So Dr. Mata, briefly introduce yourself, and then we're going to hand over to the anchors to ask you the questions. As a matter of fact, Nia Song was not here last week. We'll let Nia Song go first before Ambassador Lisa. So Dr. Mata, please, you're welcome.
Thank you very much. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Dr. Tamata Aku. I'm a feminist or female rights activist and educational psychologist. I'm here today to talk about a very painful traditional practice called breast ironing. I want to also use this opportunity to wish Happy Mother's Day to all Cameroonian women. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. And thank you for being on the show. I remember we texted a while back, that's about 2 weeks ago. And so sorry that you missed me last Sunday, but you're welcome to the show. And please, you are part of the family. Anytime, any moment you hear about a topic that scratches your voice or your mouth to talk, just come in, you know how to get it. So that said, I hear you're the one that talked about breast ironing.
Yeah.
Actually, I had heard about it without knowing how it happened. But what was most prevalent at that time I was growing up in Cameroon was the FGM, female genital mutilation. I heard about it, and I might have met people who had it, who had gone through it without them telling me. But when we talked about it, it became like, she's talking so familiarly with it about it, it looks like she knows what it's all about. It was in her tradition, it was in her culture. So that said, let's turn to the onions of the day without letting them get into our eyes. Dr. Martha, what exactly is breast ironing, and why do parents or mothers do this to their daughters?
Breast ironing, otherwise known as breast flattening, breast pounding, breast massaging. There are many other terms that have been used on this harmful traditional practice. It is the pounding, massaging of a pubescent girl's breast with the intention of stopping it from growing. This is done at dawn or dusk in a private corner of the house, away from the view of male figures. It is a practice done under secrecy, and it is done by people who are very familiar to the child and people the child trusts very much, like the mother or another family member who is a female. So this practice, according to history, is it emanates from the ancient practice of breast massaging. But the difference is that women's breasts were massaged to give them a good shape, to make them robust, and also to help in lactating, or help lactating women, or help in lactation, as we used to say. Sometimes when the breasts are deformed, the breasts were massaged to give them a good shape, to make the woman look more beautiful and to ease her pain during breastfeeding. But this is the opposite with breast ironing, where very hard objects are put on heat, they are warmed or heated, like spatulas, stools, ladders, hammers, bananas, plantain peels, coconut shells, and even some leaves. There could be poultices, we don't know. They are heated and used to pound or massage or flatten the pubescent girl's breast with the intention of stopping it from growing. This is a practice that originated from Cameroon and has spread to other Western African countries. And at the moment we are talking, it is being practiced in the UK because it has migrated up to the United Kingdom. There are cases of breast ironing in the UK. There are many reasons given for this practice. Very many reasons. Niasong has already listed some. Protection of the family name is one of them. Another thing I want to highlight here is the fact that breasts are not only ironed, they are bandaged. There are children who go to school with bandages on their chests, placed by their mothers to stop the breast from developing. So not only about pounding, it's not only about flattening, using tools, but also bandaging. Niasong, Reverend Palmer, I want you to imagine a situation where a child goes to school every day, because this practice is not something that is done in one day. It's done between a week and several months, depending on how stubborn the breast is, or how how patient the girl is, or how strong, or let me say, her ability to withstand the pain. Imagine this heated object, like a grinding stone, for example, is placed on the fire. The mother picks it up with a rag. You are women, you know how fragile the breasts are. Mm-hmm. She cannot even hold the stone with her hand. She picks it up with a rag to place on her daughter's breast and begin pounding and grinding. They say it is to protect the family name if the young girl, the pubescent girl, becomes pregnant. They are afraid that if she becomes pregnant also, she can have STIs, she can have STDs, she can have early pregnancy, she could be raped, she could be sexually harassed. And this is because men don't have respect for women's bodies. There's also situations where women are afraid to the massage or the iron their children's breasts because they want them to go to school. And some also use it as a ploy to, especially in ethnic groups where breast ironing is done. No, let me say ethnic groups where early marriages is practiced. They are doing that, using it as a ploy to continue to collect money from those suitors who come to marry their daughter. So they'll tell you the child is not ripe enough for marriage.
Oh my God.
So you said, wait a minute, you said they would tell that their daughter is not ripe enough? Is that what you said?
Mm-hmm.
So come again, please.
Fruit? Jesus, help me.
No,
So,
Dr. Martha, she's asking if you use the phrase ripe enough for marriage, as if the girls are fruits. So yes. If you want to repeat that line.
Okay, if you look at the areas of practice, for example, in Cameroon, you realize that it is practiced in all the 250 ethnic groups in Cameroon, but the rate of practice is lesser in some regions. Regions that practice early child marriage, for example, the Hausas, the Mororos, for example, they don't have any issues with breast ironing because the breast is a good sign. The child is ready for marriage. The bigger the breast, the better.
Okay.
So, but there are other regions.
So wait a minute, Dr. Martha, hold on. I want to make sure Ambassador Lisa and Sister Deborah are getting this. So you are saying that because 2 weeks ago, we talked about child brides. So Ambassador Lisa, basically she's saying that the child brides are saved from the breast ironing because they are given into marriage early. So it's like, at least these other people that are not giving their children for a marriage early, they are still harming the children by ironing their breasts. Then those that are giving their children early, the children are spared the breast ironing. So either way, the girls are endangered.
Yeah. We don't pray hard enough. I don't pray hard enough.
Yes.
You are praying hard enough. It's just that
God.
this is not coming to your prayer line. So this is now,
It
you're
is
aware
now.
of this now. And
First line is always clear. Please, go ahead, Dr. Martha. Oh
Yes,
my God.
Please.
Yes.
You also realize that there are some girls who intentionally iron their own breasts.
What?
You can understand the type of people who can do that.
Okay, the people that want to look like men, the ones that want to look like men.
Yeah.
Okay.
They don't want to have anything to do with the breast.
Yeah.
Before we even talk of the effects of this practice, I want to first of all explain something. I want us to have a picture in our mind about this practice. All the ladies on this platform and the women who are watching us. When we were young girls, about the age of 15 to 18, 15 to 20, I can remember how much we cherished our breasts. I can remember how many times I wore very, very light dresses, and when I walk, I'll push my chest in front of her head so that people should know that there's a lady here who has come of age. Mm-hmm. I will move around to announce that there's a young girl in the neighborhood. This is what most girls do. They want to flaunt their natural assets. Imagine a girl whose breasts have been ironed, who cannot do this, who has one long breast and one short breast. whose breasts are flappy. A girl of 15 having the breast of a woman of 80 years, because the lobes and lobules have been destroyed, the fatty tissues have been destroyed, all the suspensive ligament, everything has been destroyed. So her breasts have been condemned. You imagine a child who has stunted breasts, whose breasts are not growing at all. You have a girl of about 18 to 20 years in the house with no breasts. And who is the cause? The mother. Imagine a child with a deformed breast who has a cyst, or we call it a growth or cyst by the breast, caused by the mother, an abscess, scars. Because when these hot objects are used for the breast, they leave bruises, they leave scars, they leave wounds on the children's breast. You know how fragile the breasts are. And so that these wounds, they heal, and they leave very funny scars. How will a child like that expose her body to her peers? You have commission schools where many children, girls come together to bathe. How will a child like that expose her body, even to a man? How will a child like that even want to indulge into sexual activity, knowing that the man is going to see her silhouette and her body and complain? So it deters even sexual intercourse to some. Although, despite all what they have been doing to the breast, thinking they're going to stop the girl from becoming pregnant or indulging in early sex, it has not changed anything. The girls still indulge in sex, they still become pregnant. And I ask myself, what is the rationale? Androphobia, the fear of men. Why always men? Why must we alter our anatomy every time to please men, or because we are afraid of men? I have no issues with men, no. I have no issues with men. But why must we always alter our anatomy? Because we want to please men, or because we are afraid of men? It is because men have no respect for women's bodies. Women have no autonomy of their sexuality. The women are not even socialized to negotiate sex or safer sex practices, or contraception, or abortion. Women are not socialized for that. So the woman has no autonomy of her body. It is time that the woman be educated to know how to protect herself. Why not put it even in the curriculum for the girls to study, to know how better to control their bodies? The women have ratified many international conventions on human rights. Why are they not implementing this? Why can't they come up with a law that severely punishes the perpetrators of this act, for this practice? What is worse about breast ironing is the fact that it is done under secrecy, and it is done by someone whom you think is doing something good to you, someone you trust. That is why it is very difficult, very challenging to research on breast ironing.
So, Dr. Martha, in your study, in your reading, in your living this reality in Cameroon in particular, is there an alternative to it? Can we do something, apart from talking about it now, for mothers who are still practicing it, to say, oh my, I've been damaging my daughter, not helping her? Is there something that can be done?
They should come up with a law that severely punishes the perpetrators of this act. And women should be empowered to say no to these practices. They should include that even in the curriculum. Why can't they even come up with an international day of zero tolerance to breast ironing, as we have the 6th of February for zero tolerance to FGM? There is need for that.
Wait, I have a question, Dr. Mata. Okay, is it because listening to you, it sounds like the men are not behind this, it's the mothers. Is that a safe deduction? That is the mothers that are behind this, or is it the men that are afraid that their daughters will become sexually active and they're asking the wives to do this?
As I said, it is a practice that is done under secrecy. Most times, the father of the house does not even know that this has been done on the daughter. The secret between the girl and the mother. And the mother tells her it is for your own good.
The devil is a liar. Okay,
Yes.
then this is a bigger problem than female genital mutilation, because this one is the mother. Most girls trust their mothers. And mothers are supposed to protect their children, for crying out loud. So even you're talking about the law, I think we need to educate these mothers. Because if they probably don't know, I don't think the mothers are intentionally trying to damage their children. I don't think they are. And the mothers may not know, they may just, I don't understand. Maybe the mothers had it done to them, and then they think it's but then the mothers are not even enjoying any sexual relationship, which a lot of women in Africa don't anyway. To them, it's a duty. So we need to get to the mothers. How do we, instead of even making it the law, because you can make a law and arrest all these mothers, it will still continue in secrecy, because how do you even find out that it was even done? How do you find the perpetrators? But I think it's sensitization of these mothers. Maybe their local meeting houses or local governments or churches can address this. You know, they need education.
Education, yes. Yes, like Dr. Martha said, why are we not writing it into the curriculum of our children? When they're going to school, they should be being taught about their body. They should be being taught about sexual issues. But I think that the parents and the teachers and the educators, they probably think that if we teach them, it'll make them more promiscuous. But if we teach them, what we're doing is empowering them. We're giving them information.
Exactly.
Make decisions over their own life. And if we teach them early, that's one of the things when I go to Africa, I'm always teaching the parents. I'm talking to the adults about the children. If we can get the children, then these behaviors don't have to continue on. But we got parents who are only doing what they've seen done, who are only doing what they saw their grandmothers do, and we think it's the right thing to do, no matter how scarring it is. So this is so overwhelming. And I feel your passion, Dr. Martha. I mean, it's oozing through the camera, your passion for these children are not just being damaged physically, these children are being traumatized.
Yeah.
And we have broken and traumatized children growing up to broken, traumatized adults who are breaking, traumatizing their children all over again. This vicious cycle, it must stop. It must stop. It must stop. Dr. Martha, you would like to?
The truth is that all this bounds down to androphobia, the fear of men. The fear of men, because women are not, as I was saying, men don't have respect for women's bodies. Women are not socialized to even negotiate sex, safer sex. And that is what is making parents afraid. When a pubescent child, a girl begins to show signs of maturity, you know, if you have realized the age of early marriages has increased. Meanwhile, the age of maturity has decreased. So you have children as young as 7 developing breasts. So the mothers are looking at the men. This practice is more rampant in urban areas because the activities of the children exposes them. The activities expose them. They have contact with men in all areas. And the mothers think that these children will not be able to handle these relationships or interpersonal relationships. And the fear of sexual violence also from men. The fear of sexual harassment. All this crowd the mother's head. The fear of having a child who has become pregnant in the house, which is a taboo. It's a taboo, staying in the name of the family. Mothers are struggling. They don't want to be part of this. What do people say? What will the community say? Okay, your children are not well raised because they had children.
But the children are being raped at school by their teachers for grades. They're being raped on their way to get water in the morning. They're being them 5 miles walk to school and back home, and you're acting like this is only happening in the home. It's not. It is not. So we need to begin to really get in there and educate. I am just so disturbed by this.
It's like the young girls are endangered species, but let's hear from Sister Deborah Barona. This is
Sister Deborah first. Wait, we want to hear from the sisters first.
okay.
Sister Deborah, go ahead.
She had to catch her breath.
Take it easy.
I had never heard of this, and it's really like Prophet Lisa said, it's disturbing that people have that kind of a mindset, and that's what it is, a mindset. They think that this is what is supposed to happen, and even when somebody says it's not right, they're still going to think, well, this is what we do, and they're going to keep on with it until somehow it gets through to them. It's a hurt piece, and I missed the show last week. I wish I didn't, but I did.
I think you should watch it. If you watch it, have your tissue around you. It's on our Facebook page. Watch it. Ambassador Lisa, send her the link.
I'm about to need one now. So.
I know.
I'm
teary-eyed as well.
That one was worse than this, you know.
I can imagine. I can imagine.
Ronald?
It's just crazy.
Yes, I agree with Prophetess Lisa. There needs to be an international or national or both type of dialogue between the men and the women in the government institutions about raising children and not utilizing old traditions to control their growth and their puberty, because it's damaging not only physically but psychologically. And once that dialogue begins, I think things will get better for the children and the parents will understand more.
It goes back to educating the women. And I say this every time I have to speak at the UN. Why are we so hell-bent on the girl child and the woman rights when we need to be starting with the men? The men need to be educated.
Yeah.
We begin to educate them first. Tell them, help them to understand the purpose of their wife, the purpose of their children. They will begin to get a different mindset. So the whole entire, I'm a holistic believer. The whole family must be educated. We can't just focus on the girl or the woman. We got to focus on the whole entire family. Educating that man, help him understand the purpose of a woman and a wife, why she's a helpmeet, and then to go on down from there.
Well, I need to just weigh in here. Unfortunately, back home, we really don't have social workers in school because we are saying all these things. These are not crimes that are committed to the child by outsiders. These are committed by the mothers. So it's even difficult to know who a victim is. But how about, empowering the teachers, especially in the village? I don't know if this is happening in the city. Maybe, I'm sure Dr. Mata can respond to that in a few minutes, but let the teachers give these children options, where they can privately confide in these teachers because they don't have social workers, and let them know that they will not get hurt. Because who knows what the mothers are telling them? Yeah, it's your own. Don't tell anybody. If you tell, you understand what I'm saying? Let's start now. Maybe I think if we can create an avenue for these girls to speak, to open up, maybe to the school teachers. I am not really comfortable telling people to go talk to preachers, or because this were the end times. Sometimes the preachers are the ones who are the pedophiles, I don't care what denomination. There are still some good ones, don't get me wrong. I'm a minister of the gospel myself, but I'm just saying our girls, our children are growing in very tough times, very, very difficult times. It's hard to find help. So we'll keep doing the show. Please share this everywhere. But I think we can just start with one small village. I don't know, Dr. Mata, you know about these things. We really don't know where to start, but maybe sensitizing, starting with some, I don't know which tribe it's perpetrating this the most, where it's very rampant, and start educating those people there and let them know that God doesn't make mistakes. There's a reason why God allowed some people, have puberty at 7, some is 12, some is 13. That's God's decision. No human being has a right to alter another human being's life cycle or lifespan or growth cycle or anatomy. Nobody has that right. And these children are helpless. They are in a situation where they don't even know right from wrong. The parents should be able to discern better. Dr. Martha.
I do it right from the pulpit when I go to Africa.
What makes this breast ironing very challenging to research is, as I said, the secrecy surrounding the practice. No child wants to expose the mother for her to be arrested.
Right.
So it is something that the mother tells you it is for your own good, and you will believe her. This is the person that bore you. How will you be doubting that this thing? Sometimes it's also done out of ignorance. Let me say, most times, because I don't want to believe that a woman knows that what I'm doing to my child will make her have cancer.
Yeah.
Or the child end up not having breast, or having some funny breast, one long breast and one short breast, or some stunted growth, or abscesses, scars, bruises, and she will continue to do that. It is ignorance. That is why the sensitization must also go to schools, to the young girls, that there are girls in class with bandages. They have pains in their chest. They'll complain of backache, chest pain, fractures.
Oh my God.
Because they carry these bandages for the whole day. They have respiratory problems. They have lung problems. But because it is their mother that is saying that this thing that you have on your body can cause trouble for you, let us struggle for it to go. They have even something that they have ribs that are paining. They complain. They can only tell their friends or their peers. They will not tell it. They may not tell the teacher. But children have to learn. We have to educate teachers to pay attention to those type of things.
Yeah, to notice things.
They should talk about it in class. They should talk about it. To talk about these harmful traditional practices. So if you notice any student like that, please secretly come and inform me. I will not inform the child. And empower them, to come and talk about it. Because there are children who are ashamed, who cannot even dress in front of their peers because of shame. The scars are there. Infections. This is a child who will not be able to breastfeed her own child. Who will not be able to produce breast milk because the breasts have been ironed. Breast pimples.
Dr. Martha, we get the point. But is there an economic value to this breast ironing, breast flattening? Why do mothers think they should do this to their own daughters? And talking about education, if I can add another question to that, we know that in the days gone by, in our days when we were growing up, the teacher was highly respected in schools. But today, teachers are just, are you better than my father? And things like that. So even talking about entrusting it to teachers, the girls themselves will even tell of the teacher and so on. But then, is there an economic value for the family breast ironing their daughters?
Okay, apart from some cases where in practicing in ethnic groups that practice early marriages, where the mother will iron the breast of the girl because she wants the child to continue schooling and to delay also prospective suitors from marrying the girl and to continue to receive some goods and services from these prospective suitors. The mother does not do that for economic gains, generally. They do that because they want the child to stay longer in school. But you want a child to stay longer in school with a bandage on the chest. How can a child who is feeling pains be attentive in class?
They don't know.
And mind you, there's no medication, there's no painkillers readily available. You can't just go to the drugstore and buy some Tylenol. You can't go get something for an infection readily. Those things are not available.
They don't even know. They don't know what they are doing. They don't. It is ignorance. I think it's ignorance. That is why sensitization and education.
You know, these people, and sometimes I make these comments, people get so used to poverty, they think it's a blessing. These people have gotten so used to pain and suffering, they think it's a blessing, or they think that's how life is supposed to be, and it's not supposed to be that way. The fact that you, the mother, went through all that, genital mutilation, breast ironing, or one or the other, or something, or you are a child bride, that doesn't mean the cycle has to continue. It is not, that's not how God meant for us to be. That honestly, you know, Proverbs 10:22 say, the blessings of the Lord make it rich and added no sorrow. When God blessed women with beautiful breasts, you know, and the rest of the organs, he did not add sorrow to it. He did not mean for anybody to come and iron the breast, because that's sorrow.
It's very painful. It is really very painful when you talk of breast ironing, because I can imagine at this age, we want to raise our breast so that we can show the cleavage and things like that. And then you imagine a child who cannot even, whose breast cannot fit well because of the shape of the breast. Even the dress that she wears, she's ashamed to move around. Her self-esteem is touched. And these are lifelong effects of this practice. The child suffers from the time this thing is done. Sometimes even the child does not even know that what is happening to me at 20 is due to the breast that was ironed. The mother can look at the child and does not even know that this child has cysts like this because of the breast that are ironed. Or the child has an abscess because of that. Or a cancer because of that. That is why we say there's need for education and sensitization.
Education. Oh my God.
Yes, that is very important. Where the girl child is educated to deny it from the mother, no matter how much she trusts her mother. I believe the boys and the men should also be fully involved in this, because there are predators out there. They think that the breast means maturity. This time, this girl is ready for sex or whatever. So what should we do? Shouldn't we involve the men even more than the girls?
Holistic, yes.
It is very important, because that's why we are striving for gender equality and mutual empowerment. When you empower the girl, she will tell you no. She knows her rights.
Exactly.
She knows her body is not something you play with.
No.
If the boys are not educated as well to know that not every woman with the breast is good for sex. Don't only look at breast and think of sex. If they are educated to know that, to look at these girls like their own siblings and treat them as such, it will be better. It is this aspect that they don't have respect, and it's these stereotypes that are pulling us behind. Stereotypes that are attached to these practices that must be stopped.
She is so right about this thing, because I was born and raised in Cameroon. Even yes, I don't know if you ever heard of breast ironing. I never heard of it. That is very secret.
Yeah, until recently, I didn't hear about it, but when I became a journalist traveling the country, that's when I realized that there was something called breast ironing, where they didn't use that term, but they said it in their vernacular. But when I went to work in the far north, I realized that it was more a pride to have a girl with those dangling breasts than with a girl with no breasts at all. So because the northerners seem to appreciate the fact that the breast is a good sign that this girl is mature or grown up enough to get married and things like that. But in the south, especially in the forest regions, that is where this thing is most prevalent. That is where it is most prevalent. I don't know why. That's why I asked about any economic value to it. But we need to educate both men and women, especially the men, because men should not think that because a girl already has breasts, she is matured for anything.
Yes. Right.
Right.
And until we begin to get more men who will go home to Africa, preach and teach, the men will not be educated. They will not get it. Every time I go, I try to bring brothers with me, and they say, "Oh no, let me pray. Oh no, it's not my time." What do you mean? God go into all the world and preach and teach. What do you mean it's not yet? And every time I go, the brothers always say, "Where are the men? Why won't Where are the men? Why won't the women come? Where are the men? This is their cry every time. Where are
Ambassador Lisa, we are here. Where are the men? It's just me and Song and Brother Rana. Where are the men?
where?
Remember last year we did the show. Where are the men? We've been looking, so we're gonna showcase the men next month because we can't find them. Nobody can find them.
Nobody can find them.
Okay, for us to pinpoint some of the countries in which this thing is practiced, let us call the devil by the name, because the United Nations published a list, which I have, and I want to read it.
Oh my God!
Make sure you send us the link to where you found that.
It's common in West and Central Africa, including Guinea-Bissau, a former Portuguese colony, I should say, Chad, a former French colony, Togo, a former French colony, Benin, a former French colony, Guinea-Conakry, a former French colony, Côte d'Ivoire or Ivory Coast, a former French colony, Kenya, an English colony, and Zimbabwe. Of course, I left out the big fish in the river, Cameroon, where it is most prevalent.
So, okay, something is wrong with that list. Did you notice that only 2 out of the rest of the countries are not from, are not French-speaking French colonies?
Right.
Yeah.
Are we sure this thing did not start with France?
Well, we don't know. We have to find out more research. Dr. Mata, we challenge you to more research. Maybe you'll be able to tell us in a year's time that this thing actually started in France. We don't know. Or the French colonists who came.
But look at the list. Look at the list of the countries.
At least there is no documented evidence.
Unfortunately, Cameroon features on the list.
Yes.
And unfortunately, the English-speaking part of the English-speaking part is victim to this, and the East province or East region, as they call it, is part of this. So coming from that country, I know what happens, especially in the forest areas in the Southwest and the East regions. So, and of course, parts of the South in a way. So those are the countries and the regions where this thing is practiced. And as Dr. Mata said, it has got to Britain. I don't know how it got there, but it is out there. At least
the immigrants have carried to Britain.
Yes, maybe. So there are at least a good number out there, and it is. I don't know if the fight is continuing, but somebody mentioned to me the other day that no, they no longer do it, but they don't know, since it is something so secret. They are not very sure what is going on.
Wow.
But Dr. Mata says this thing is done in the dark and remains in the dark unless the child comes out to say, oh, this was done to me. But we must spread the word. We must talk and involve both men and women, because men, of course, I blame them. I'm a man. Men think that because a girl has breasts, she is ready for whatever they intend to do with that girl. It should not be so. I mean, as one of the priests who raised me as a college used to say, when you see a beautiful girl, go home and thank God for creating such a beautiful thing. So that is how it should be.
Amen.
Don't think otherwise, seeing a beautiful thing. No, don't think that you need to own that.
Men are visual creatures. Men are visual creatures.
But we need to help them to curtail their vision. But you know, a lot of our girls are, we need to teach them how to curtail their vision. Look, but don't touch. But you know, a lot of these, especially now with our young girls developing so much, is because of the food that we're eating. It's in the
I was gonna make food is the food.
It's the food, you know. We're giving the chickens, you know, all these
process.
And you forget that the big chicken breast is actually going into that child's body or that woman's body, and it's not her system, and she's eating that chicken, and of course those and hormones are going to create breast on her.
So listen, the chicken breast is going to the girl's breast. Yeah,
what did
I'm
you say?
saying the chicken breast. I'm giving your daughter's chicken breast. The chicken breast is going to the daughter's breast.
The chicken, period. All the food is being so genetically modified. You know, our boys are now getting big breasts. You know, our boys are now needing bras because their chests are so big. It ain't because we're giving them hormones. They're not taking hormones, female hormones. They're eating the food, and the food has got chemicals.
God, this audio is not connected.
Yes. They got so much hormones that it's modifying the way our children are developing. And we
Now,
need to
Dr.
get those points out as well.
Oh, okay, Ambassador Lisa, I was turning to Dr. Martha. Has there been any medical research into the consequences of breast ironing, apart from what you mentioned, cancer and scars that are seen?
Well, the effects, what we have noticed are things like scars, infection, and the inability to produce breast milk. So cyst, cancer, abnormal deformed breast, abnormal sizes, unbalanced breast, and those things that will really make a girl not feel fine to expose her breast to people. And it also make them afraid of sexual intercourse because they know, unlike LGM, where a man could get in and come out without even noticing the absence of the clitoris, this one, as you see her, you appreciate from face value. Yeah, you have to appreciate her. But it gives them a very low self-esteem, as we're talking about. Yes, psychologically, it affects them.
They are damaged. They are damaged.
Emotionally, socially, when they are with their peers, do they feel happy? So all those things, if you have a child, you cannot give the child breast milk. Maybe there's some abscess there, which has infected the milk. So you breastfeed the child. Yeah, those are some of the problems. The tissues of the breast have been damaged. The lobes and lobules destroyed. All the fatty tissues, ligaments, all destroyed. So the girl is not even able to produce breast milk. Yeah.
Dr. Ogoji, your audio is not connected. We definitely want to hear from you. You know, as a female doctor, a woman's doctor, and an internal medicine doctor, I know you've never heard of breast ironing, and you were born and raised in Cameroon. You know, so please find a way.
Nigerian.
Fake Nigerian. He's a Cameroonian. he went to St. Bede's secondary school in Cameroon. Okay, he's connecting his audio. So while Dr. Ogoji is doing that, let me share some, make the announcements, and then we'll come back to this topic. Anchors, please, if we can give Dr. Ogoji, I know he's missed Dr. Martha's many.
There he is.
There he goes, Dr. Ogoji. We're gonna come to you in a minute. Okay, can you guys see my screen?
We can.
Yes.
Okay, Ambassador Lisa has been talking about this event for months now, and we finally have the flyer, but this flyer is going to be updated with a hyperlink. So our sister organization, Africa's Brain Bank, the one that sung the borehole on our behalf for free, they're having a third annual summit and charity ball, October the 8th and 9th in Atlanta, Georgia. It's going to be at the Atlanta Airport Marriott. That's the address. This information is going to be uploaded on our website within a week. But it's a 2-day event. The event starts with an academic symposium in the morning. You're going to see Africa's brain power on display. Then there will be an elaborate red carpet better than the Oscars. Our red carpet are unique from 5:30 to 6:50. Then exactly at 7 o'clock, the event will open with a 90-minute summit, and then we're gonna have dinner, a gala, and some speeches, and fundraiser. On Sunday morning, we're gonna have a billionaire breakfast brunch from 9 to 11, probably 9 to 12. And this will be for the sponsors. You can see the sponsorship here: bronze, silver, gold, diamond, executive diamond, platinum plus. That's the stuff. So get some sponsors. There are companies where a nonprofit organization, 501c3, so their donations are tax deductible. So get them to make this their charity of choice. So that is that one. Let me switch to the ticket. You guys, let me know if you see the ticket link. Do you guys see? Okay. This is the summit. It's telling you about the summit. There's a link here I'm going to post the link on the chat box. I posted it earlier. I'll post it again. That's where you get the tickets. The tickets are only $125, and the event for both events, that ticket is barely covering the event. So we're not making any money from that. That's why we need sponsors and we need people to place an ad. You know, the accommodation, they've given us a good discount. This is the link for the accommodation. You just click that link. The room block, you know, is open now. It's for Friday through the 9th for 2 days. That's what that room block is for. A good deal. So these are the different tickets. If you want to have a reserved table, get 9 other people to join your table, and you buy 1 ticket, table reservation. This is not a VIP, please. It just gives you a reserved seat. The VIP tickets start from $2,500. So again, this will be on the website, but let me, I'm going to post that link on our chat box. And Ambassador Lisa is going to talk more about this. So in the evening, in the morning, we're going to have an academic symposium. In this evening, we're going to have a summit. The theme for this year's event is We Are One. It's a very powerful theme. We have speakers coming from the movie industry, from the music industry. I don't want to mention their names here because we've not confirmed all of them. I'm going to be meeting with one of them, a legendary, iconic actor tomorrow. And he's got his invitation, so he will be confirming his appearance. So this is one event that you don't want to miss, especially if you are a person of African descent. Come and meet your brothers there and sisters. So let me go ahead and play the anthem, and then I will announce let me just, after the anthem, I'll announce next week's topic.
Oh, Africa. Oh, Africans for Africa. 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 Africans have many bright ideas. Only you let us share. If you really want to know our history, please come, sit down, listen to my story. God gave us a wisdom. He guides our footsteps, makes us shine and transform. Hey, as one people with so many cultures, yet indeed we are one. Stand up, Africans, let's save Africa. Let us all unite behind Africaonline Media Corporation. Stand up, Africans, let's save Africa. It's time to come together, promote awareness, progress, and solution. Hey. Africans for Africa. Africans for Africa. Africans for Africa. All Africans can rally for a common cause, to believe without judgment in what our brother does, to identify and resolve our challenges, to allow each other's ideas without regard to standards. As one people with so many cultures, yes indeed we are one. Stand up, Africans, for Africa. Let us solve all the problems plaguing our continent. Stand up, Africans, let's save Africa. Let us empower Africans in and out of Africa. Stand up, Africans. Africa. Africa Online Media Corporation, that's a good way to start. Stand up, Africa. They have all the resources we need to benefit our society. Oh. Education for everyone. If we believe prosperity for Africans, if we believe medical facilitation for Africans, if we believe stand up, Africa, yes, for Africa. Africa Online Media Corporation, that's a good way to start. Stand up, Africans. Let's save Africa. Africa is a cradle of civilization. The motherland. Stand up, Africans. For Africa. We were enslaved not because we were weak, but because of our hospitality. Stand up, Africans. Let's save Africa. Jump on the Africaonline miracle jet. Don't be left behind. Stand up, Africans, for Africa. Together we shall succeed. Together we win. Stand up, Africans. Let's save Africa. We are writing our own story. The truth, and we shall tell it to the world. Stand up, Africans, for Africa. No more lies. Africans own Africa.
No more lies. Africans own Africa. Okay. Next week, like I mentioned earlier, we are going to be dedicated next month to the men and to the brothers. So next week, June the 5th, in honor of celebrating our Black men, the man, the myth, the poet, speaker, Dr. Neil Hall. Ambassador Lisa, you want to say something quickly about him and then do your normal thing before Nia Song speak to our French people? After that, we really want to hear from Dr. Ogoji. And Leonie,
Yes.
Leonie, you're welcome. If you need to speak, please, you've been on for some time, unmute yourself and weigh in also. Go ahead, Ambassador Lisa.
Yes, thank you, Reverend Pam. Next week, as she said, we're going to be dedicating the whole month to our men. And we're going to start out with the man, the myth, the poet, Dr. Neil Hall, board-educated, board-certified surgeon, right here at the University of Pennsylvania Hospital in Philadelphia. But he is a poet. He is an international award winner. I mean, his bio is 3 pages long. He sent me the bio, his 3-page and the abridged, talking about all the countries where he has been recognized, where he's been honored. Just recently, in the last 3-4 months, it's been India, Greece. He has 8 books. And his poems and his works have been translated into 8 different languages. So I'm telling you, you don't want to miss. You know, of all the things that our men are, and all the things that our men are not, a lot of times they're not that creative in that area. You know, we have Gil Scott Heron, who was our rebel, but we've got this doctor, Harvard trained. I mean, he went to all the Ivy League schools. But yet he is a poet, and we don't want to miss hearing Dr. Neil. So I'm telling you, grab somebody, tell somebody, bring them on the show so that we can all take part in seeing the creativity in this wonderful brother.
Wait, Ambassador Lisa, real quick, can we get a flyer on him?
If somebody knows how to do a flyer, yeah.
Send me his headshot and the picture real quick. I'll get my niece to do it, but we need to get it done like, you know. Oh, she's away on camp, but just send it. Let me see who can do it. We need somebody to do it. Is anybody here on who can do a flyer for us?
You can ask Ruth Presley.
Okay.
Okay, Ambassador Lisa, please send it to Sister Ruth with our logo. Let her do one, because my niece is away at camp. She won't be back till Wednesday. That'll be too late. We need to get the flyer out by Monday, please.
Okay.
Or
I'm not sure if she's away. I know she was away this morning. I'm not sure if she'll be back, but I will get it out to her. So,
awesome.
Also, and I'm going to make this really quick because I want to hear from Dr. Agoji as well. But you know that Africaonline has its ongoing fundraiser, Operation Borehole 55, where it is our desire to see a borehole put in every country on the continent of Africa. We need you to help us accomplish this purpose. Send us whatever donation, whether it's monthly, quarterly, yearly, no matter how small, no matter how large, all of it goes towards the borehole project. Our first borehole is already sunk in Sierra Leone, and we will soon be moving on to Kenya. So we want you to help us, help them. We're not going to only just educate them. We're not only going to come and teach them some things and get rid of some of these traditional thoughts, but we want to provide what is natural. We want to be balanced when we're helping our brothers and sisters on the continent. We want to help them spiritually and naturally as well as physically. We want them to have that water. We want them to be educated. So join us. Visit our website at africaonlinetv.org to donate towards Operation Borehole. That's africaonlinetv.org, and you will find the links there to bring your donation. Thank you so much. We sure appreciate you. Nia-san.
Thank you very much. Merci, Madame l'ambassadrice. C'est pour vous dire que Africaonline Media Corporation continue à collecter les fonds pour creuser des puits d'eau potables dans les divers pays africains. Ça s'appelle Operation Borehole 55. Parce qu'il y a 55 pays en Afrique, si on compte le Sahara de l'Ouest, Western Sahara, OK. Donc, on a déjà creusé le premier puits au Sierra Leone, ça fonctionnait déjà. L'électricien contractuel du coin a décidé d'électrifier la salle d'accouchement dans le centre de santé développé dans ce pays-là. Donc, l'essentiel, c'est de creuser ce puits d'eau dans les centres de santé développés dans les divers pays africains pour que le maman n'accouche plus sans l'eau, sans l'électricité, ainsi de suite. Donc, pardon, je suis plus habitué en anglais. Va sur notre site web www.africaonlinetv.org. Faites votre don là-bas, tout est déductible, ça sera comptabilisé et vous aurez la possibilité d'avoir votre petit certificat, votre petit diplôme pour accepter ce que vous avez fait pour continuer à nous soutenir, à soutenir Africaonline Media Corporation. Le prochain programme, le prochain puits sera creusé au Kenya. Mais avec cette affaire de breast ironing, je me demande encore s'ils sont toujours en liste. Je vais demander au président. En tout cas, merci beaucoup. Le prochain programme important, c'est cette soirée de gala de Africa's Brain Bank qui aura lieu en Géorgie, État de Géorgie. Donc, ça sera le 8 et le 9 octobre prochain. Donc, je suis un peu limité, mais c'est important de vous porter cette information. Merci beaucoup et à la prochaine. And now, let us turn our attention back to breast ironing. Breast ironing, no particular economic advantage to it, but the trauma lives and the incidence of it is rather increasing rather than reducing, but we blame those countries that are making it. But Dr. Mata, just to hook it up to you, we know that in Africa, especially in Cameroon, there is no possibility for an individual member of parliament to submit a bill that can be passed to prevent this thing, because we know that the ruling party is the one that proposes bills that go to parliament for discussion. Dr. Mata?
After Dr. Mata, we need to hear from
Dr. Ogoji. Yes. Dr. Ogoji be on standby after Dr. Mata.
Okay.
Yes, so as I was saying, that Cameroon has ratified many international conventions on human rights. If they don't have a law, there's no existing law that punishes this practice, at least they could use those conventions to punish these perpetrators. My worry is that children are not socialized to report. They are not being educated to report their parents. We didn't grow up reporting our parents' activities. Whether it is rape from a parent or torture, you cannot go and report your father. It is an abomination. It's a taboo. So we have to come up with laws that severely, because if you punish someone severely, it's going to ring a bell. Others. We also have to get programs, to create educational programs and opportunities to sensitize women, especially on days like Women's Days. A group could talk to the women. They are doing it because they are not aware of the effects. This ignorance that is surrounding this practice. And as I said in the beginning, according to researchers, this is a practice that is handed down orally.
Oh, Lord.
It's an oral tradition, yeah. You know, our literature was mostly oral.
Yes, thank you. We will get back to you. Yeah, hold that thought. We'll get back to you. Dr. Ogoji, Leonie, and Rosalind, I see them on the screen. Dr. Ogoji, it has been virtually a female discussion because the men are very few. It's been only Ronald and myself. So now that you are in, we're talking breast ironing or breast flattening. What do you know about it? And how can we go around it and suppress it?
Well, what? You mean suppress the breast or the practice?
The practice. No, not the breast. I like breasts.
Can you hear me?
What?
Anyway, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Basically, breast ironing from the little research I've done started in my dear Cameroon. It's performed by women and women and women and women and women. Typically hidden from the man. The father doesn't know what's going on, and the maker doesn't know what is going on. The purpose again is to prevent girls from becoming attractive, hoping that that will prevent them from having sex and become a virgin for either future husband or family prestige and things like that. But that's shocking because I mean men love breast, you know. So it's a very bad practice that should be stopped. Even in Cameroon, I learned that if a doctor calls and reports a case of breast ironing, within a couple of months of the act, the person who commit the act is liable to imprisonment.
Oh, really?
The law, from what I read.
That's
However,
good.
nobody has reported, and we know that laws are not enforced in our dear country. But the law. Of course, another thing that we should do is that because women are so obsessed about their breasts and men are so obsessed about their breasts. So if you make a girl breast to be flat and flat and flat that she doesn't develop breast in future, you've traumatized her. Die. She will never feel, I mean, she might spend thousands of dollars to get the breast. You know, you're taking a woman and a breast endowment is something that most women want. So if you make a young girl to lose her breast, that may cost her thousands of dollars to get it in future. So the parents should be made to pay for it. Because these girls, when they turn 18, they do all sorts of things to build up their breasts. You know, some girls are so traumatized they wear pads to look like women, and I mean, it's a torture that is a lifelong damage that the girls cannot recover from. Because trust me, from what I read, you massage your breast with iron, even pistol, mortar stick, you know, to squeeze and suppress it. Then you damage all the fibrocytes. Fibrocytes are the breast cells that grows as a woman continues. When you damage those cells, they cannot grow. It becomes a lump of fat that cannot be breast. That affects psychology, affects her breastfeeding, even affect, I mean, it's terrible, terrible practice. So again, it boils down to education. We should talk to those mothers, we should talk to them. And the shocking news about this is that a recent study done about 4 or 5 years ago, 46% of women support this practice in Cameroon. Only 36 oppose it. The
Wow.
remaining 20 are neutral. They don't know. 46 support it, 36 oppose it, the rest are neutral. And it has been practiced in Britain, just like circumcision. Breast suppression or breast binding or breast flattening or breast ironing is being practiced by Africans in diaspora. It's a shocking thing. So I don't know what we can do about this, because if your daughter develop early, sex for me is education. It's in the head.
Exactly.
Yes.
So
Yes.
not in the look. I will see women that will develop and never touch a man. So
Yeah.
those things should stop and stop and stop. It's bad, it's terrible, not allowed.
Yeah, Dr. Ogoji, we'll get back to you. Rosalind has been trying to speak all this while. So
Yeah,
Rosalind,
after
welcome
we
to the
need to go to
program
Leonie.
and have your say, please.
Yeah, Leonie
Yes.
has been on from the beginning. Yeah.
I've asked this question of poor people, rich people, just a slight discussion of it. And the concerning part to me is many things are left on the woman with this problem. But there's a contributing factor is that in some places of the world, Africa being one, people trade their daughters for money, card games, for things. They trade their daughters. They marry them off, or they have them have sex as compensation for money and what the men want. Some people have said that if they keep their daughters unattractive, they won't be put into the sex trade. They won't be sold off. They won't be molested as early because they're not as attractive. And although it's a bad thing to do to women, it keeps their daughters from being put into the sex trade and traded off. And the fathers and people that say, oh, you can have sex with my daughter, then I will get this and that. So what can be done? And I know a lot of things get put on women. What can be done to tell the men that if these girls remain beautiful and their bodies are left alone, that they won't trade them off for sex, that they won't put them into sex trade, that they won't molest them with their friends, because they don't see the women many times as having rights to say anything about their bodies. So I put this a huge part on the men to stop them molesting the women and stop making them, oh, men love breasts. They're not your breasts. It's not a toy. Okay?
Yes.
Whether you like it or not, you have no permission from God to touch them. And they're too young to be married. So don't look at the 12 and 14-year-old girls. Oh, they're so beautiful. You're
seven. They marry them off as young as 7.
They're just pedophiles.
Yes,
And we have to keep them pretty so the men are happy. The men have no say in this except to leave them alone, stop molesting them, stop trading them.
Yes.
And the moms might stop ironing them. So the men step up to the plate.
We're sorry that you were not in the beginning of the conversation, because we already covered all those things. And the thing we discovered was that it must be holistic education of the family. We must educate the fathers as well as the mothers as well as the children. We cannot leave anyone out.
Send her the Facebook link. Send her the Facebook.
I'll send her the Facebook. Yes, because the men don't value women. They don't understand their purpose. Like I said, I found that out in 2008, and all the women want to leave their husbands. We can't say nothing because we live in America with our own bank accounts and houses. We can't tell these women anything because, and all I come away with understanding that the men need to be educated into what the purpose of the woman and the wife is. So that's where we are. We're trying to educate each one, reach one, each one, teach one. Dr. Goji,
Let's hear from Leonie. Dr. Goji is still cracking up that the breast doesn't belong to the man.
Yeah, they don't belong to you. You can
The
like.
wife breast belongs to the husband if the wife agree.
Well, okay.
That's true. Yes, our husband.
That
Yes.
is scriptural. It's scriptural.
Yeah, it's scriptural. Yes, the body. Yes, and you're right. And I like the way he put the caveat if the wife agrees.
If the wife
Let's
agrees,
hear from
yes.
Dr. Leonie. Dr. Goji, you will live long. Let's hear from Leonie.
And then we will hear from Latoya, even though she really doesn't know what's going on yet.
Leonie, are you there?
I'm here. Happy Sunday to everyone.
Happy Sunday.
Yeah, it's a pleasure being part of this forum.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm multitasking. I got the discussion from the beginning, but I was a little bit confused because I don't know if my understanding of breast ironing is what I know, but I think Dr. Ogoji did clarify when he made mention of the mortar and the pistol, something like that. So while I was growing up as a baby, I think I used to hear my aunt saying, don't iron my cousin's breast, they'll have to hit the pistol, something like that, and press on her chest so her breast has to go back in, and something like that. So if I understand, that should be breast ironing.
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, just the thought of it is so weird. I don't know. I think God created a woman to be pretty, and the breast, the boobs, all those things add up to her beauty.
Yeah.
I really don't understand why we have to change how God created us or want to think otherwise, especially with African women, because I think I'm so beautiful with my breast, and I think the men love women with boobs and things like that.
Yes.
So don't know where all the idea to begin with is coming from about ironing breasts, trying to lose some parts of the body. It's honestly, it's really weird. But just like everybody has said, I think it all boils down to education. People need to be educated. I wonder how much people still do practice breast ironing nowadays. I really don't know, because it's been long I heard that. But if it's still going on, then we need to get down to work, sensitize people, educate parents, and we can take it from there.
Thank you for sharing.
May I ask, where are you from?
Cameroon.
Oh, I'm from Cameroon.
Oh, okay. Because I was going to say, if we can go back and maybe ask some questions of the aunties and try and get a sense of, since it's such a secret thing, since it's done in secret, maybe we can go back and ask these aunties. Now, see, I was busy asking all my East Africa. I was on here with South Africa and Nigeria, not South Africa and Kenya and Uganda. They was like, we never even heard of it. And then it's mostly done on the West Coast. And he did not name one country except for Zimbabwe that's on the East Coast that does this. So that's why nobody on my chat over here knew what I was talking about. But so.
Well, thank God they don't know. This is horrible.
Yes. Because I was calling my daughter-in-law to make sure she wasn't trying to traumatize my grandkids over there in Uganda. To come get them.
Yeah, so I think we need to do a round.
No,
Yeah.
wait. We have one new person.
I just want to apologize to the whole team because I had to step out briefly. My AC failed, so the electrician.
That's okay.
So he's fixed it now, and I'm comfortable now. So that's
sorry. Okay, let's get Latoya, and then we take the round.
Yes.
Yeah, Latoya, please. Your turn.
Hello, hi, good evening.
Hi.
Well, greetings, everyone.
Greetings.
I'm joining in. I was invited by Ambassador Lisa Parks, and actually, I don't know what it is. I saw the topic, and I'm so sorry I'm late. I was babysitting, so I just had a moment to chime in.
Okay.
But it sounds like a very interesting topic.
Well, Ambassador Lisa, be sure to give her the Facebook link.
Yes,
to
I
watch.
will. Latoya has a desire to go to Nigeria. She's a sister, she's an evangelist, she's an elder, but one of the things, Latoya, we are doing in these forums that we're doing, that we don't want to go internationally and just take our American selves with us.
Right.
We understand the culture of where we're going. We need to educate holistically, we need to educate them spiritually as well as naturally. So we deal with a lot of subjects on this show that are going on in not only in Africa, but in the diaspora. So today we were talking about breast ironing, and you and I will have a chance to follow up, and I will let you get to see this show so that you can understand the things that are going on the continent. So you just don't go over there to dance and worship and pray, and you've not been affected. This is where we make our mistake. we go and we preach and we teach and we think we're being effective. But if we're not educating and ministering to the whole person, we're being ineffective.
That's right.
Just go have a nice vacation. You just had a nice vacation. If you did not come back and you've left the people empowered with more than just Jesus loves you and we're
and thanks for that. And Ambassador Lisa, if she needs, we have Africa Brain Bank have boots on the ground. We are actually registered in Nigeria. So if she needs help or contact, we can help her with that. You know, our country rep there, Dr. Bumi, she has a PhD in public health. She's a mother. I've known her for many years. She's a former employee of mine, you know, but she's a volunteer now. So we have other team members. We have about 8 team members there in Lagos and Abuja. So I'm talking about team members that are part of Africa's Brain Bank. As far as former employees, there are about 50 of them, but we're not dealing with the team members, so we can help her. Niason, the round.
Fine, yes, thank you, Madam Chair. We're going to take a round of the table. I'm going to start from Brother Ronald. Your last word on female or breast iron.
Yes, I found this to be very educating. This is, I never heard of breast iron until today. And I think that's a tragic thing that's being done to the young ladies, especially to the children. And that we need, as Prophetess Lisa said, education, a holistic education to stop and prevent this.
Thank you very much. Sister Deborah has listened more than talk. What is your last word after listening?
She was traumatized. That's why she's not.
Yeah, I was somewhat, as Ronald said, I'd never heard of it before. And like you said, it needs to be an education of the whole family so that you don't miss anybody. Because if you get one, then somebody else doesn't know and it still can go on. I am grateful to this program because I have learned a lot in the few times that I've been here. I've heard things that I haven't heard before, and I'm really grateful because it's helping me to grow.
Awesome.
Thank you very much. Rosalind, please turn on your microphone because I'm coming to you for your last word on the program. Rosalind, please. Are you still with us? Yes, okay, please. What is your last word on breast ironing?
My last word on it is find out for me if there is a symbol or a sign or a flag that crosses languages, because many times a symbol started to show worldwide will mean more than language words. So find out if there's a symbol, I can't even imagine what it would be, that we could portray. That's the only thing. I'm with deaf languages, so a sign would be better or a flag. Let's find a worldwide symbol that would represent it.
And we may have to create that.
Sister Rosa, you may have to create, because this thing is so secret. I doubt that there is a sign for it.
There is that. We'll have to create something.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, we'll turn to Leonie now. Leonie, please don't go away just yet. Give us your last word.
Okay, my last word is I'm so impressed with this forum. I'm impressed with the topic of last week and this week, even though I really missed out last week, but I mean, I had a replay of what was going on, of everything that was said. But my big question is, how do we go about to stop all these genital mutilation, breast ironing? How do we go about the sensitization and education? We need to do something. We need to get down there. So how do we go about it? It's not just talking and talking. I mean, it's like taking action. So my big question is, how do we take action? And if anything needs to be done, we need to do it now.
Yes.
Because by the time we keep procrastinating, it means we're already failing. So why don't we get down to work, do something, set up a plan, you know, and educate our parents, family members about all this.
Awesome.
Thank you very
before
much.
we go to the next person,
yes.
Leonie, we can link you up with Dr. Mata, and you help with that plan, you know, and the Africaonline will support. Yes, because we're all volunteers. So we'll link you up with Dr. Martha.
And I don't know if Latoya is still with us or is she still?
No, she just joined late.
Okay,
That's
she just
so
joined
Lisa
late.
would
Okay.
send her.
All right, then we turn over to Dr. Ogoji. Tell us more, especially your last word.
Well, all I will say is that leave the young, beautiful angels alone. They are babies.
Yes.
Let them develop. Leave girls or teenagers' breasts alone. Leave babies' genitalia alone.
Yes.
Let them grow up and decide what they want to do with their body.
Yes.
Nobody has power to mutilate any kid's body.
Yes.
And kid for me is any kid below the age of 18.
Yes.
So leave them alone, leave them alone, leave them alone.
Yes.
And don't do things to please other people. Please, please leave babies alone. Thank you.
A word to the wise is enough. Ambassador Lisa, your last word.
My last word. I am a woman of action as well. And I always say, each one, reach one, each one, teach one. If we all just find that one person that we can reach out to, that we can share the show, share the things that you're learning. I put in the chat box the multiple protocol. If we would just get in and learn that protocol, understand what that protocol is all about, and then make sure that our sisters on the continent know that the protocol is there for them. Some of these atrocities that are happening to our young girls, our children, and even to the women will stop when they understand that they do have rights. If the scripture says he daily loads us with benefits, but if we don't know what those benefits are, we can't be loaded with them. If you don't know that your job gives you a medical coverage package, then you'll never go to the doctor. We need to understand what our benefit package entails and begin to share it. That is my last word on the subject.
Thank you very much, Dr. Martha. At the wedding in Kenya, the good wine was served last. And so I come to you with the good wine because I know that you are going to give us your full last word. Thank you for last week. Thank you for this week.
Yes.
And as I said at the beginning, you are in the family. What is your last word?
Yes.
I want to thank you for making me a member of your family. And I will be very happy to come back anytime to talk about any issue that affects women, especially. And I want to also say that women should start educating their sons to have respect for the girls' bodies. Mothers have a task to educate their sons to respect women. Why not? If you look at these practices, you realize that they are really struggling to make the girls to look less attractive to men for them to be able to go to school. Then if we cannot do that, we cannot make the men to respect women, then we are failed. We have to also make the girls to be conscious that they must protect their bodies. We have to educate the families, to know how to treat their children's bodies. It is not because it's your son or daughter that can be touched inappropriately. Then the schools also have a very important role to play. You could place flyers on the notice boards, have even a day to talk to or assign a teacher to talk to the students about these hideous traditional practices that destroy our girls and women. It is very important to educate them because honestly, most of these practices are done out of ignorance. Help them, educate them. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. And we'll stay in touch as always. Thank you very much. The chair of Africaonline Media Corporation, Reverend Pan.
I am glad, thank you, Nyasong. I'm glad we are making a difference. We've been doing this for more than 6 years now. We don't have the resources to track the results of what we do, but know that these shows, they stay on our page. They're not coming down for years to come. People are gonna watch this. We're gonna keep doing this, keep raising awareness about issues that affect Africa and Africans, seek solutions to those issues, and make progress from there. We are not going to stop. Dr. Martha, you are welcome to come. This is your show. It's not our show. It's your show. It's called Africaonline. We are bringing Africans online. You know, the economy is changing. You know, we are in the knowledge area, information technology, and the technology is getting to Africa. Even the women, mothers in the village now have cell phones. They call their children on WhatsApp. So somehow this message is going to get there. Education, and I mean, we need to be able to educate people remotely. We're not asking everybody to go physically there. We are educating people on this platform. Please continue to share the information. It's not about ratings or likes. It's about educating, reaching more people, educating our people. Let's use the platforms that are available, social media. You know, you share it on all your networks. People use social media for evil things. We are doing good. Let's use it for good things. I want to thank Dr. Martha again once more and all of you for participating. Niason.
Thank you so very much. Men and boys and mothers in particular, please, that girl child is your sister, is your daughter, is your relative, is your everything. He is a child of God as much as she is a child of God as much as you are. Respect her body, respect her, and let us all go rejoicing that we are able to raise awareness, and we look forward to better days ahead. Thank you all very much for being here, and thank you for participating. Bye for now.
Bye. See you next week.
Bye.